Okay.
Cool.
How do I start? Welcome to the You've Got Change podcast, where I talk to people about changes they've made in their life, big and small, for better or for worse. And today I'm very excited because I have the beautiful, wonderful, hilarious comedian Katie Green on.
Hello. Oh my God, I love this.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. I feel like we can talk about anything forever.
Yes,
and we have
and we
talked
do.
about- and we do. How are you? Firstly, how's your headspace? You came in here, you cycled in. How you doing?
Cycled in, lost my AirPods. It's been a vibe, you know.
It's been a vibe. I feel like I've never seen you where it like hasn't been a bit of a hot mess vibe, but in the most endearing way.
Yeah, I really wish I could get my shit together, but every single time I go,
But you do have your shit together.
no, I feel like every time I go anywhere, I'm constantly apologizing. Like, I'm so sorry, I'm a mess.
I mean, that's nice to hear an American apologize for once. So, on behalf of all non-Americans, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
I think it's just because I'm an American with a passport, so I feel like we're used to being like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Every
Anywhere
time.
you go in the world, you're like, I'm sorry for existing.
Yeah.
Just being one of us.
Yeah.
But you're not, but you say you're like a hot mess, but you're actually like, I do feel like you always show up, you always get there, you always get the job done, you're a super hard worker, like.
Yeah, but
you know?
I do feel like it stresses people because I'm on, like, my timing and my, like, the way I do things is so, like.
You're a bit Kool-Aid man with like, you burst through the door at the last minute.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
did
yeah.
feel that. I texted you, I'm like, hey, see you soon.
If you didn't text me, if you didn't,
for real?
No, if you didn't text me, because this is honestly.
Were you at home when I texted you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, when?
When I just texted you to be like,
Oh, no.
or this
I wasn't
morning
at home.
when I was like,
this
see you later.
this morning.
Okay,
But when you
okay.
texted me saying I'm upstairs, yeah, that's when I started my cycle.
Okay. I just have this thing where I'm like, I used to be chronically late. I used to be a chronic late person all the time. I could not get it under control. I just had no sense of time. I think that was for a lot of reasons why I had those issues. But like, I mean, because like, yeah, and I just couldn't pick an outfit. I never felt
Right.
good when I was late. So I was always late for that as well. But like, I've totally changed, and I'm the person who's always there early. Like, even for a gig last night, I was supposed to be there. They're like, oh, I didn't even know what time I was gonna be on stage, but like, be there for like 9:30. I got there at like 8:00. The show had just started, and I'm like, why am I here so early? It's nice to be able to watch the gig, but I'm just chronically early now.
I wish I could be like that. I really, because like it gives me so much anxiety being late.
I think that's the thing. It gives me the anxiety. So it's
being
like,
early or no?
I get so anxious if I'm late, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I start freaking out, and then I start to be like, I've had to jump in Ubers, and I'm like yelling at someone who it's not his fault that I'm running late, but I've had that happen. And it gives me so much anxiety and dread that it's just better for my mental health to be early.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something I would want to do, but I've never made it happen. I think it's also because I just can't get timing right. And I think also I get time anxiety.
Yeah.
So if I show up anywhere early, I'm like, hey, how are you?
No, my thing is like I can always go around the corner into a coffee shop and wait. That's why when I go out, in my backpack, I usually always have makeup. I have an extra toothbrush. I have my laptop. I have an extra charger.
Okay.
I can always go charge myself up, do a little admin, make a phone call, scroll on TikTok. I can always find a little corner to hide out in and do my thing, but I'd rather just get there and be sorted than like have that anxiety of like running in last minute.
Yeah, that's smart.
I mean, but maybe this is the change you can make in your life.
That would be I would really like to make that change.
Yeah.
Because also, like, I don't do it on purpose.
No, I
like,
know you
I'm
don't.
like, I'm always just like.
You can tell when people are like, I'm doing it as a power move to be like the last one who walks in
Yeah.
the room. I have had bosses like that where they always want to be the last one at a meeting, and you're like, you're just an asshole.
Yeah,
Like
no.
they want to make everyone seated there, and they're the last fucking big dick to walk in the room, and everyone's just like, you're a piece of shit.
No, I don't like that.
So we're here to talk about change.
Yes, we are.
Are you nervous at all to talk about this stuff?
No, there's a few different things that I'm thinking about. So I'm not that nervous yet.
What a weird fake voice that was. You're so funny because like I think it's always so funny because sometimes I have friends. You're not like this though. You're pretty much the same all around. But I have some friends who are so fucking different to me than they are to other people. Like they're very curated in front of other people. I'm very maybe not trying to be posh or very particular, but around other people. And then when you get them, they're like, ugh. And they kind of relax into themselves. And you're like, why aren't you this person when other people are around? But you're not like that. But that was just a fake voice that you did.
Yeah. I struggle with people like that because it's just like.
Yeah, it feels so inauthentic. Then you're going, wait, but am I getting the real you or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not. I don't think I'm. You don't need to always be like, this is who I am, blah, and give everyone all your fucking trauma dumping.
Right.
But like, just, I don't know, being yourself and being a little bit more authentic is just, I rate people who are just themselves. And even if they're like, even if I'm like, well, that's not really my type of person or you're not my vibe, I will rate you if I'm like, you're at least 100% yourself.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, unapologetically yourself. Which, like, my boyfriend is. He's just completely himself. For better or for worse sometimes, and just like says it how it is. But I really rate that. I do, honestly.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that in somebody who's just like, I don't care. And I don't care if other people think I'm like a fucking loser or whatever, just like leaning into who you are.
Right.
So tell me about a change in your life or something that you changed in your life that altered your path, like for better or worse, whatever. It doesn't need to be a huge change.
Well, okay. So the biggest change, I think, like the most fundamental change was when I was 16 and when I was arrested for shoplifting.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I was arrested.
Shit.
And
what did you steal? Where was it? Give me the whole story.
JCPenney's.
Of course, classic pennies. If people don't know what JCPenney's is, because I think it's only American, it would be in Canada. It would be the equivalent to like the Bay, or here it'd be like a John Lewis.
But low
lesser,
tier,
maybe
really low
tier. Than that. But
like,
what's below John Lewis here? What would be like a
Debenhams or something?
Oh, Debenhams. Yeah.
Like it was like that vibe, but
like a lower department store.
Yeah, like I guess above TK Maxx, but not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in JCPenney. We're 16.
We're 16.
Or were you on your own?
No, I was with a friend.
Okay, was she peer pressuring you, or were you?
No, I think it was just I was hanging around a group of people who, you know, they were misfit vibes, and they got in a lot of trouble, and so I think that kind of made us equally get into trouble. But like they would be, like they were like on drugs. So they would do like
you're not like that. You're not. Were you like that when you were younger? Were you like a bit of a shithead?
I like
doing drugs. And
no, I never. Like I've smoked marijuana, but that's the only drug. And it's legal in California, so it's really not that big of a deal. But I think if I didn't get, because basically what happened.
Yeah, give me the story.
I got arrested.
No, you got to start from the bit.
No, I stole a Captain America T-shirt.
Oh my God, what an embarrassing thing to be arrested for.
No, the most embarrassing thing, and also a tester of Bare Minerals.
A tester. You didn't even steal the actual product.
I stole a
you
tester.
Stole a makeup tester.
A makeup tester. Yeah.
And that's literally free product they're giving away.
Yeah.
I'm
like damn it.
I'm gonna give this away. I want to make it free. Give it to me. And I'm gonna pair this with a Captain America shirt, bitch, because I'm a bad girl.
Yeah, this fucking cakey ass, not even my color.
Oh my God. Here. Oh my God. Was it like 5 shades too dark?
It probably was. It was like it was probably like. There's probably like no product in it because it was a tester. And
it was a fucking gross tester that all these grimy people have touched.
Gross. But I think in my head, when in the moment, I was like, oh, this is not that big of a deal because
it's a
tester. It's free anyways, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
were they all? Was your other friend? Was she stealing too?
I think she saw another T-shirt as well, and maybe another different makeup product.
Yeah.
But then they we left, and then they caught us, and then they brought us into like the mall.
Yeah, I was good. Were you mall arrested or were you legit arrested?
No, we were mall arrested. So like we read like Miranda rights and things like that, but we
Can they even do that? Is it like some 18-year-old security guard be like, you have the right to remain silent?
No,
you're like, hey, it was Jack, are you in my high school?
No, proper cop came in.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then we had
That's scary. Did you start crying? I feel like you'd start crying.
I don't remember. I think I was
like taking off your
No,
like, fuck you,
I wasn't. I was like, oh, what have I done? This is it's really embarrassing. I think for a long time, like it was a really low point of my life. Like my whole family was ashamed of it. Like it was and it was all like I was equally ashamed of it. Like it was really like.
Yeah. What did your mom say? Did she get called by the cop? So were you charged? I need to know. Everything.
No, I wasn't. So basically, because I was underage, like the deal was we had to pay for counseling. like a certain amount of sessions of counseling that were really expensive,
Yeah.
like $500 a pop.
And did you guys have that kind of money to?
No, it was really like difficult. So, and obviously like I had to pay for that. And so we went on 2 sessions. I did 2 sessions. And then they also had to, your parent had to come to one of them or something.
Yeah.
And that was also a really big, like, difficult time because my mom was always at work.
Yeah.
So finding the
single
time.
mom,
Yeah.
like you and your sister and stuff.
So, but then the thing that was I think the most like changing experience was that, that happened maybe in May, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And I won a scholarship to study abroad in Spain.
Yeah.
In high school.
Wow.
They picked one student.
Well, you are a smarty pants.
Thank you. But they picked one. They basically, like, the Spanish program won this raffle where they could send one student to study abroad.
Yeah.
And so I won that. And if I hadn't gone, I think I would have been, I mean, the friends that I had, because like that summer I went away.
Yeah.
And just like thought about my life decisions and thought about everything and like the people I was hanging out with and everything. If I didn't have that perspective, like when I came back, a lot of them were on more harder drugs.
Yeah.
A lot of them were selling drugs.
Yeah.
So I think that trip to Spain really changed. Like I didn't have to do the full amount of counseling either because they're like, oh, you don't need this. I think you just messed up once.
Yeah.
So.
And what's the friend you were with who was also caught? What happened to them?
I think she was like fine. I think like she like hung out with the friend that group a bit more.
Yeah.
But she had some difficult things. I mean, we don't really speak anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I think it was also like.
Can you look at Bare Minerals anymore? Have you ever
No.
bought one since? Or
My
every time
God.
you see it, do you like shudder?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Or every time you see a tester product, you're like, oh.
Oh my God.
That.
No, yeah, I don't. Bare Minerals. It makes me feel icky.
Yeah.
Really gross. Yeah.
I shoplifted once when I was a kid. Well, I was on a basketball trip.
Okay.
In grade 8 in high school, and there was all these girls on the basketball trip, and we were in this small town. I don't know where we were, and we were walking around, and a bunch of the other girls started doing it. They were like, do it. But it was very much like a peer pressure thing, and I was like this like chubby, awkward, like dorky kid, and I was like, well, if they're all doing it, like I have to do it to be cool.
Right.
So I shoplifted like butterfly sparkly hair clips. And
from where?
It was, and I felt because it was a small business too, which I hate.
Oh no!
And it wasn't like a JCPenney's or like a
Yeah.
like something like that where it's like you shouldn't, but like whatever.
Yeah.
But like, and I still remember, and the worst thing. So it was a sparkly. If I can pull up a picture, if I can try to find this, I will. It was like an ornament of it was like a ceramic sunflower with like a baby sitting on top of it with like angel wings being like. So like, why as a teenage girl I'm like, I need this sunflower baby, and like just being crazy, but just because I had to steal something that was like the easiest to conceal, but like, and then like sparkly butterfly hair clips that everyone stole from like all these different little shops we were in, and they were all little shops.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling so bad, but remember being like, I have to do it. Like I have to, I don't have a choice because I have to be cool. Did you feel like you kind of had to do it?
No, I think like
you're like, no, I just really fucking rate Captain America.
I fucking loved Captain America.
Do you still love Captain America? What happened with the t-shirt?
Well, they took it back.
Oh,
I mean, they weren't.
What stupid! What happened with the thing you stole that you got caught with? They made me return it. You dumb.
No, they let me wear it to jail.
This
is like bad coloring matching. Like, hey, woo!
Yeah, your punishment is you have to wear the gross tester makeup and the t-shirt and pose like.
Yeah, and it was like a men's t-shirt. It wasn't. It wasn't something that was glamorous.
Tween girls at that age who were like dying for Captain America shit.
No, Hot Topic. They used to. Yeah, I was a big Hot Topic gal.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
because it's very California too.
Mm-hmm. Well,
American.
yeah.
But so, do you think? Did your mom sit you down and have like a big?
It was a big. It was like a. Yeah,
like
I was.
You brought shame upon the family.
Yeah, I was in a lot of trouble. I don't even actually know if my grandparents know. Like, that's how it was like really not. It was bad. Was I grounded? Yeah, I was grounded. I couldn't go to the junior prom.
Oh, that's a big deal too.
Yeah.
Especially in the States.
Well, I mean, I didn't have anyone to go with anyways.
Well, maybe don't walk around with gross makeup on your face and a fucking Captain America shirt, and somebody would have asked you to prom, I bet. So you're like, oh, your punishment is not going to a dance you weren't invited to.
Yeah. No, but it felt like a big deal. I mean,
yeah, of course, that is a big deal, especially for like. Yeah. Did other people find out? Did they know, like other people at your high school, or was it kept?
No, it was pretty, like, I mean, just me and my friend and like a few like of our close friends. That was really.
Have you ever stolen anything since, or been? Is that the only time you've ever had like a brush-in with the law?
I mean, besides like speeding.
Yeah, but that's like.
Yeah, that's been it.
Yeah.
Because like all that stuff makes me anxious. Like I get really like. Oh God, I like getting in trouble. I'm not someone who likes trouble. I hate conflict. I really hate.
I always
conflict.
thought I liked conflict. I was always like, I lean it, but I'm like, I don't at all. And my reaction, if I get into something really big with somebody, I get so many emotions.
Yeah,
that I can just start crying because I get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I used to be like, no, I like that, like whatever. But I realized I really dislike conflict. Like I'll really do my best to avoid it. And like. I remember once I had a roommate and she owned the flat and I lived there and I took cold showers for like 2 months and she's like, I just realized I don't think I ever told you how the hot water works. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I've gotten used to the cold showers. And she's like, no, you just have to like flick a switch and it's fine. But at that moment I was like, oh, I fucking really don't like conflict. I took cold showers for 2 months because I was like, she was the landlord. I didn't want to, her to be like, oh, you're so annoying. Now you want hot water too, even though I was paying rent. But that made me realize that like, oh, that's really how much I steer away from it. Like that's my immediate like, if I start getting into it with somebody, I'll be like, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh, so I'm not like shower cold, avoid conflict. But like I'm like, so it depends what the conflict is.
Yeah.
Like if it's like,
I mean, yeah, if it's like standing up for myself, it's a bit different, I guess.
Well, I'm really bad at standing up for myself. Like
I know.
Yeah.
You're like, if we're in a boxing ring and you're the boxer taking a timeout, I'm like the coach rubbing your shoulders, being like, do it, girl, do it. I'm really good at hyping up other people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it, but I'm not good at taking advice.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's a really difficult position to be in because like I always look back and I'm like, oh fuck, it's not worth it. Whatever.
Yeah. So that getting arrested, and I guess the Spanish trip was like that big.
Well, that trip to Spain, was
like
really
change in your life.
Life changing.
It's just because was that the first time you'd ever been out of the country?
No, I had been out of the country before. My mom used to work for United, so I
oh sick.
Like we'd go to England a lot. I'd been to Costa Rica with the school as well.
It was me.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
But for that trip, it was really like. I think it was, I like fully immersed myself into the culture. Like I was like, didn't speak any English. Like I was like, I'm only going to speak Spanish.
When I know you speak Spanish, but when you said I didn't speak any English, I'm like, you were mute for the whole summer? Like I just like, thought you were walking around completely mute and just like, hand signaling people, pointing at your fucking Captain America shirt. And like, I don't know what I thought. I know you speak Spanish. I'm so fucking dumb. Oh my god. But yeah. And that was your first like adult on your own trip.
Yeah,
too?
on my own. I had like a homestay family that I was really close with.
Do you still talk to them?
I follow the mom on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think they divorced because I don't see him. He was
What did he
was hot. He was so hot.
Fuck.
No, oh my god. Yeah, I'm like chubby 16-year-old me. Hey,
Were you
hola.
chubby?
I was chubby. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen pictures of young chubby Kate.
I was chubby.
I love seeing pictures of people when they were younger. I love it because it's just like I know they're all so cringy. Because remember when you were like a little bit younger and you see pictures of you and you're like, ugh, I look disgusting.
Yeah.
Whatever. But now there's so much time gone by that it's like funny to look back and like what a fucking loser I was.
Yeah.
I love
some of it still makes me cringe because it brings me back to those times. Like like middle school, high school was like, God.
Yeah, they weren't glamorous times for me.
No. Oh God.
You and I would have been. I think we would have been friends.
Probably. I mean,
in the corner, not invited to prom.
I ate lunch in the bathroom.
Oh. Oh.
And then sometimes, well, I had two friends that would we'd spend a lot of time in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then, but
you also have IBS, so is that also part of it?
That's probably why I got IBS.
Maybe that's why. It's like a causation thing. Like, what came first, chicken or the egg? And it's like the sitting on the toilet or the shitting. Maybe your body was like, if I'm already here, I may as well go
Might
for
as
it.
well.
May as well.
No, but I hated high school. Like,
yeah, I mean, anyone who I think is like, oh, I loved high school. That was the best time of my life. I'm like, you have issues.
No.
If high school was the best time of your life, you got to reevaluate because that is fucking.
I do feel like college was the best time of life, which I think that's where I
college?
peaked.
You've had like 18 degrees and you've gone to like 55 different schools. Which was your favorite uni or college?
UCLA by no questions asked.
Because you were getting passed around the basketball team.
Can I confirm or deny?
Yeah. Do you have anyone you dated who went to the NBA?
Oh my God, yes. That's like my big. That's
go on.
That's my biggest
flex.
Yeah, there's nothing bigger than that. There's nothing.
Wow.
So okay,
Can you drop any names?
No, not on this. But do you have a Patreon?
Not on this. Yeah, if you have a Patreon, you can subscribe, and we'll talk shit about who in the NBA likes to finger their ass.
So I had a brief fling with this really, really lovely guy.
Michael Jordan. I don't know any basketball players.
No, he was really, really great.
He was like 45.
He was so nice. But like he had a girlfriend that he had broke up with before he went to college, and then so that winter break they kind of started rekindling again.
Yeah.
But he was like the nicest guy. I think probably one of the only guys who I could be like, oh, like despite like having fooled around or whatever, like I can still be like, that you are such a good guy.
You're such a good guy who cheated on your girlfriend.
No, he's a good guy.
Okay,
like he was they had broken up.
Oh, okay.
What had happened was like during that like September to December would have been like we were like chatting, messaging or whatever, and then hanging out, whatever, and then it just kind of fizzled out. And then during that fizzle out period, I think he got back together, but then they broke up eventually. But we weren't compatible at all. But he was the nicest guy. And then he ended up getting drafted to
tell me the team.
It's too obvious if I say the team, but I'll tell you later. Ended up getting drafted. And then so his first year of the team, he gave me and my mom tickets to go see it. I see a game.
I love that. How
yeah,
do I know?
but
I know you dated basketball
he has a girlfriend and they're like super cute on Instagram. They've been whatever.
Yeah.
But like it's like so kind, so whatever. And then a few months ago, he was in London. I was like, oh my God, you're here. And then but like he was leaving somewhere. I mean, he's one of those people that is just nice.
Yeah.
You know, like he just doesn't owe anyone. Like he's just nice. And I was a weirdo. Like I was full on weird. Like I used to wear Batman leggings. And that's his freshman year of college. And I'm like, wow, he speaks like, why are you speaking to me? Like,
but I think sometimes people think like those like really cool, suave guys who are like, I think they kind of, because they get so much like, I don't know. I just picture like they get so much like cheerleader pussy thrown at them of like these like perfectly manicured like whatever girls. And when you're like, I mean, it's such a stereotype to be like, take the glasses off her and pull out her ponytail and she's a babe. But like when you're kind of like, you know, a little bit of a weirdo and a little bit different to what they know, they're intrigued by it. But at the same time, I hate girls that are like, I'm not like the other girls.
Well,
like, shut the fuck up.
Our first encounter was like 0 week, the week before school even started.
Okay.
We were at the a cafeteria or whatever. He was with his friend. His friend was the tallest man I'd ever seen in real life.
Yeah, also a basketball player.
Yes.
Yep.
And I went up to his friend and was like, oh my God, you're like Gandalf and I'm like a hobbit.
You did not.
I straight up said that.
Why are you so embarrassing?
I took a picture
that,
with
like,
him.
Gives me secondhand embarrassment. Well, you're like Gandalf and I'm a hobbit.
And I took a picture with him and put it on my Instagram because I'm like, I'll never see him again. and put him on my Instagram and said, this hobbit's found her Gandalf. That was the
And you
caption.
didn't even know him.
Never no. I thought I'd never see him again. I was like,
walk away from that being like, nailed it. Nailed that interaction. He is gonna wife me so hard.
I didn't,
because I'm his little hobbit. Like, what's more appealing than a sexy hobbit?
I didn't like him, but I was actually I did dress as a sexy hobbit that Halloween.
Oh my god, of course you did. I love you so much.
And this guy that I had a crush on, he was like, I don't see the sexy. And I was like, what do you mean? My tits are out. what do you
I don't think I've ever seen a sexy hobbit in my life.
I really pulled it off.
What do you mean my tits are out? So full hobbit costume and just your tits hanging out of them. And then you go, this is sex appeal. Where's my Gandalf?
No, I just had like hobbit feet slippers. As like, no, those were just in my.
You paid
like,
full price for those.
Oh yeah.
You don't steal those.
No, those were fucking hard
those.
to get. Oh my god, had to order those online. And then I had the ring around my neck, and then I just had some like this. I thought it was cute.
I think whoever you end up with as like your person, soulmate, everything, is gonna be the best weirdo. And when you guys are together, we're just going to be like, thank God you two found each other.
God, I hope
You'll
so.
be like two fucking mental pieces of the puzzle that's just like click. And
I
you just
hope
like
so.
are so. I can't wait to see whoever you have as like your person, because like I think you guys are going to be so weird. And if you have kids, they're going to be so fucking funny and weird too. And I am here for it.
God, I can't even imagine. I can
imagine you with a whole like trail of little bambinos behind you. That's Italian, not Spanish, but cute. What would that be called for Spanish? Niños?
Yeah.
That's cute. Little niños?
Yeah.
Niñas?
If
right?
they have girls, yeah.
Yeah. What? I love that story, and I love how it changed.
But he called me the weird girl, that guy, obviously.
Oh, really? The guy you went up to was like, hi, Gandalf. Like, no, he called you the weird girl.
He called me the weird girl.
I think that's a nice thing he could call you. I think there's a lot of other names somebody could have called you, and I think calling you weird, that's okay. I'll take that one for you. I will take it all day for you. I love that. I love what a weirdo you are. That is like my favorite thing about you, because anyway, like you are a gorgeous girl. You have like this long, beautiful hair. You're like from California. I think you're hilarious and brilliant. And I just love that you are such a weirdo.
Yeah.
You're all of those things, but you're also such a fucking weirdo. So tell me about something like, is there something you've wanted to change about your, or do you think it's the timing thing? What's something in your life that you've wanted to change, that you struggled with, or you were able to do it, but you struggled with?
So timing, I think a lot of it is like self-worth. I wish I could like fully like stand up for myself in situations that like, I mean, we talked about this briefly, but in situations of conflict, I really struggle to articulate myself.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, but some people are amazing at it. And especially like when you have like dominant men who are just used to always winning arguments. Like it's really hard to be like, no, that's not right.
And then you'll reflect back later and go like, I should have said this, I should have said that. And then you feel like stupid and guilty that in the moment you couldn't have thought about that.
Yeah.
So that's something are you trying to like?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
How are you
be
like,
better?
You're a self-help person. You're into all the self-help books and stuff.
I do love a self-help book.
Has there been one that you're like, that's really good, or you've taken on board and like actually?
There's been quite a few.
I just put them on my bookshelf.
Yeah, I don't actually read them. There's a few that I find like impactful.
Yeah.
The Status Game is not a self-help book. It's more like a book about why everyone's motivated by status. And that's quite an interesting read to understand other people's motives for things. And that kind of, I think what I struggle with a lot is I feel like because if I'm nice and kind, sometimes that invites people to be mean for some reason. And I feel like I've had that a lot in life, where like sometimes I feel like I'm nice the whole time, and then I'm getting like rude or negative stuff coming back to me, or just
it's like they think because you're nice they can treat you like a pushover and get away with stuff. And I guess also if you're someone who doesn't like conflict, they get away with stuff.
Yeah.
And they go, this is how I can treat this person.
Yeah.
But it's hard because it's not like that's not your fault they're an asshole, but it's also like a boundary setting thing.
I think I'm really bad at sending. I read the book that you recommended to me. Really good.
Don't text your ex happy birthday. By Al.
Yes, it was actually really.
But then you texted him happy birthday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I called, so that was the loophole. I showed up to his house. Hey, happy birthday.
I didn't text him. I moved in.
I didn't text him. I just gave him a blowjob. And
no words.
Yeah, no words.
Fuck.
No, I did find it really interesting about the setting boundaries and really, and those are all things that I'm really bad at. But also the way he wrote the book was really like, kind of like.
To be fair, I recommended it to you. I haven't read the book.
No, it is. That's fine.
But I listened to his podcast.
Yeah,
and
but his advice is very much so like.
Yeah.
Part of it is like, okay, you know, you whatever, and this stuff is bad, but then the part of it is like sort yourself out, sort yourself out, like you deserve better. Part of this is your fault, and I think a lot of stuff is like realizing that is my fault as well. I think that's really crucial for a lot of like dynamics, because I can fully be like, maybe that's also another change that's like, I can fully all the time be like, oh, they were mean to me, they're mean to me. But also it's like part of me is like, I'm allowing it to happen.
Right.
So, or I'm letting them get away with, or I'm not setting the boundary I'm not being like, hey, I don't want this.
What's the reason you're always with people who are treating you like this?
Right.
So it's like there has to be some sort of pattern where you're like, it's very therapy speak, but like there is some sort of pattern that going, if you're always in with the same type of people or the same type of friends or people who are taking advantage of you, there's some sort of thing. You're putting yourself in that situation, and it is boundary setting, but it is fucking hard to change that stuff because it is really confronting. Yeah,
I think that's a way harder thing to deal with than like being like, oh, I'm bad at like realizing the issues that you have within yourself is.
Oh yeah.
That's where the real work happens.
I mean, that's where a lot of that is. That's where like a lot of my stuff has been, and like self-worth and trying to change that and realize what you should give yourself. I just think we're not as nice to ourselves as we are to other people.
No.
We give way more to other people. And
100%.
We give people more exceptions, more trials, more times to fail. But ourselves, we do it once, we fuck up, and we go, I'm a fucking loser.
Right.
And you just get so into your feelings about it. But it just, like, you wouldn't do that to me. You wouldn't come up to me and be like, oh, like, if I try this podcast and it bombs, you're not gonna go, you're a fucking loser. But in my own head, I might be like, fuck, like, you know what I mean? But we're just so much nicer to other people, and that is something that like, but that is that like fundamental change in your brain that you need to make about like, I don't know, taking accountability.
Do you ever find that like sometimes the way that you talk to yourself, you like project that onto other people? Because sometimes I feel like there's been a few situations where I'm like, oh, that's not good. Why did I say, or like I didn't mean it as offensive as something came off, and I think it's because I've made it. I've like internalized it as being okay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think, but also I think it's part projecting, but I also think sometimes that's energy matching. So sometimes I think that I was just hearing about this thing, how there was this study done basically, because talking about how pretty privilege exists, right?
Is this on TikTok?
It was a TikTok.
Okay, you always.
Did I say I read something?
You fucking always love to be like, so I've been researching this thing, and like as if you fucking just like fucking got a degree in it. I'm like, actually, I just been scrolling.
Okay, it was on TikTok, but then I did more research on it. I just love TikTok.
You fucking go on Instagram Reels. That's not more research.
Okay, but I saw this thing on TikTok.
Okay,
and I started looking it up. Basically this whole thing about pretty privilege existing.
Okay.
And they would have a man on the phone and then someone on the other end of the phone, and they would tell the man, here's a picture of the person you're talking to, and a really like traditionally like gorgeous woman would be. And the men would always be like, oh, their demeanor was nicer, they were nicer to deal with, they were like kinder, whatever. And then when they dealt with the unattractive person, they go, oh, she was much more difficult to deal with, whatever, when the conversations were trying to be the same. But then there was a third person listening going, actually, it started out that way, and the men just treated the nicer looking person better off the bat because that's pretty privilege exists, and they just assume better looking people are nicer, better, have more value, more intelligent, blah, 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 blah. We know that exists from studies. But the third party person who was listening was going, actually, the not traditionally like better, you know, more attractive person started being matching the energy, and the conversation got really confrontational.
Oh.
And I think that's what happens a lot. So I don't know. Does that make sense to me? Where I think sometimes you go, yes, some of it's projecting. It's like hurt people, right?
Yeah.
Bullying and stuff. But some of it is like I think it's energy matching.
I think also I'd say energy matching, but also like really bad at protecting myself.
Right.
And so sometimes I feel like if I feel attacked, I will go out with like I will go for blood sometimes. If it's somewhere like if it's been like a guy I've been seeing and I felt attacked in a group situation, I will fucking like.
Well, that's good. So you do stand up.
No,
for
but
yourself.
like it's not. It's like bad because I'm going for something that's deeper than what. Like it'll be like
you're reading even more into the situation than you think it deserves.
Well, so like it'll be like a teasing thing that I like for me I thought went on too far, and then I'd be like, your dad hates you.
That is, oh my God, a super overreaction. Yeah. Like, that's why you were adopted. Like, oh my God. And someone's just like, your hair looks weird today. Yeah. And you're like, you were an accident. Okay.
Yeah, so that's not good for me.
I mean, that's not good either.
No.
But I mean, teasing, like, there's a fine line.
I find it a cultural thing.
People just take the piss out of everyone here.
Well, I also think, I think it's a bit difficult because there's a few elements going on. We come from different countries and we're here and they do things a bit differently.
Yeah.
Right? With just the way, like banter, all that stuff. That's not something that was as common.
Yeah.
Where I'm from.
Yeah, same.
And the extent in which they do it here.
Yeah.
But then another element I feel like it's because a lot of my friends are comedians, so there's an extra insecurity, but also extra like desire to prove themselves.
Yeah.
And so I think that really, I'm like, oh my God, why are people really mean here?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, it's because I'm hanging out with a lot of people who are
and
really
it's like everything's fair game at all times.
Yeah.
And if you see somebody at their worst, you want to like make fun of it.
Yeah.
But it's like to pick them up, sort of. Well,
I feel like it might, in my experience, it seems like it depending on. Like the higher you go up, the less likely are to attack like that, in my opinion.
What do you mean the higher you go up?
The higher you're up in like with your success.
Oh,
in your career.
So it's like people who are more insecure.
When you first start
at the beginning,
I feel like that's when people are terrible.
Yeah, I had a lot of that. I had a lot of that like bullying, kind of mean girl stuff when I started.
Yeah,
with, like people who I came up with in the Toronto comedy scene, who I just felt like. Yeah, they were just like awful and mean, and I was just like, why are you being? Because I think there's this notion of like there's only so much of the pie to go around. So I think there's like, you think there's only so much success that exists in the world. It's a finite amount of success or a number of comedians that can exist. When you go like, actually, when other people do well, we kind of all do well.
Yeah,
in comedy, I think, because. Like I've bombed on I've bombed on a show, but like I've had shows before where I have other people bomb, and then I've had friends come to the show and be like, did you love it that they sucked? Because then you look better. I'm like, why would I love that?
Yeah.
Like that just looks bad for comedy. And then people who paid money to go see a comedy show, they go, well, I'd rather spend my money on a movie or just go out for dinner next time rather than spend, like that just hurts all of us.
Yeah.
Like, we want comedy shows to be great, so everyone goes, I fucking love going to live comedy. I want to go all the time. Like that's what you want.
Right.
You don't want to see other people, but I think off on a tangent, but I know what you're saying. I do think when you're more insecure, a lot of it just comes from insecurity, right? Like my sister's getting bullied at work right now by this girl. She's the girl in her like mirrored position, and she's saying that she's being really condescending to her, really rude. She's like the only girl that does her role who can help her, so she has to be really careful about it. And the girl's just being so fucking brutal. And she's like, do I match the energy and give it back to her? Do I suck up and go extra nice? So she's fucking taking her a birthday cake today to be nice to her. But I'm like, there's obviously something going on with that girl.
Yes.
To treat somebody you don't know badly because you're all angry about, like, maybe you're overworked or whatever. My sister's a nurse and like they're all overworked.
Yeah.
But like, come on, girl.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be. I'm not about that.
No, I'm not.
It's hard, but it is hard in those situations. Like, do you energy match? Do you whatever? And like, try not to project your own shit.
Yeah.
Which can happen. That's why therapy's good, man.
I know. I need to get on it. I really need to.
Have you ever done therapy?
I've done.
Other than your like, did the mall cop make you do his therapy?
No. So that was we did like it was a separate counseling.
Yeah.
So I did 3 sessions in total.
Yeah. You said 2 before. Like, what is it?
No.
What's the real truth?
No.
Here, Katie?
So we were meant to do 5. Yeah.
I want to know what they were like. Oh, you're good. You don't need to do it.
Well, it was so they worked out a deal or whatever that I could, because I did the first 2.
Yeah.
When I was because I almost wasn't able to go out of the country because of those things. So
I thought that's where your story was going to go. Like you weren't able to go on this trip.
No, so they let me do the first 2.
Yeah.
And then I went on the trip, and then I did another one when I came back. And then that's when she was like, oh, like, you're fine. Like,
oh, okay.
So
lucky though.
Yeah.
Really, really lucky that you were able to do that. I went to in my high school, we were part of this like New York Club, it was called, where basically for like grades 10, 11, and 12, we fundraised for like 3 years to raise enough money to go to New York. And
oh, wow.
Like fundraisers and restaurant little pop-ups in our school and like all of these things, all these big events. And we worked so incredibly hard to go.
Yeah.
And one of the girls that I'm friends with now, I wasn't really friends with her in high school. She was kind of like you. She's a bit of a bad girl. In with the drug crowd, in with like, she would like be out smoking all the time and be with like the bad kids. She kept skipping school. And the rule was if you did not show up to school that day, like a lot, if you play sports or do extracurriculars, the rules are like if you skip school, you can't do the extracurricular afterwards, right?
Right.
So like for our basketball team and stuff, if you skipped it, you can't show up to practice. But if you don't show up to practice, you're not playing in the game.
Okay.
So the whole thing. So even if kids skip school, sometimes they often want to still partake in that after.
Yes.
School stuff. So she would try to come to that and they were like, you cannot do that. You can't not show up for school and then come to these extracurriculars. Yeah. And it happened so many times and her parents got involved in everything and she'd fundraise and help work so hard for this trip. And they made a decision she needed to learn the lesson. She was not able to go to New York. And after all that fundraising, and she was like devastated from it. And for years she didn't go to New York. And she went, I don't know how long ago, but she did end up going. But it was like so emotional for her and she said that was like the major turning point in her life was that she fucked up so badly that they had to take something really big away from her so she would get it. And it was this trip that she had worked for 3 years for. And I at the time, I was like, good, because but she's actually the nicest, most generous, loveliest person, like most generous person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And it totally changed her and like put her on a different path. And it's like, it is beautiful to see, but it's fucking hard at the time.
It is hard. I also feel like with situations like that, it's just like sometimes it really is like wrong crowd. Yeah. Like you feel displaced. Like I feel like I look back at that.
She moved around a lot. She didn't have, that's the thing. She kept jumping school to school because her parents were moving.
Right.
So it's like, of course, they're going to fall in with who's the easiest people to fall in with. Go have a cigarette with them.
Yeah. Or like, because I feel like misfits are always people they'll accept anybody.
Yeah.
And I think it was, I think sometimes you really just get caught up in the wrong crowd.
Of course. And you're like, I'd rather be accepted by someone and a group of people than no one. So I'll just make
because they do make you feel like included in something.
Of course. And everyone just wants belonging. We're social creatures, right? We all want to belong.
Yeah.
I love that. This has been a good talk. Give me something to end on. I want to know, what is something in your life that you hope never changes?
I hope my relationship with my sister. I feel like me and my sister are like, she's my best friend, and I hope that never changes. That's probably my constant. Yeah.
What's her name?
Casey.
Hi, Casey. Shout out.
Hi, Casey.
I love that. I love that you guys are so close because I'm close with my sister too.
Yeah.
So we like have it. My sister and I always used to be like, well, you're my fucking best friend. Obviously, you idiot. Like, but we like, not when we were younger because we were never like that.
When me and my sister were younger, like we
shared a room.
We were 4 years apart, and I was like weird to her friends.
I mean, you were a weirdo. You're like, I am your Hobbit. You're my Gandalf.
No, my sister used to always like my speech impediment's bad now, but it used to be a lot worse because I had to go through so much speech therapy.
I've never noticed you to have a speech impediment.
It's like it's not as it used to be really bad, but I still have a speech impediment. And when I was younger, my sister would like translate things for me. Like people, I would like
kind of warms my heart.
I would say things to people, and they'd be like, "What?" And then she'd be like, "She meant this," and it was.
She meant she's a hobbit, and you're her Gandalf. Get it through your head.
Yeah, I get it.
I love that. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at KTG Comedy.
She's very funny.
Thank you. Twitter, KT Spicy. TikTok.
Was that an old Twitter handle that you did like way back in the day? Now you're like, fuck.
No, because I wanted it on Instagram, but someone took it.
Oh. It's a great one.
Thank you. You're like,
Do you totally regret that? No. Oh, me neither. Totally. Katie Green Comedy.
KDG Comedy.
KDG Comedy.
And then TikTok I guess it's the same, but I mean, if you want to follow me, I've only got 12 followers, so.
Well then.
It would help.
I mean, no one's following me, but if you are, that'd be great. She's very funny. I fucking love her. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I love you a lot.
I love you a lot.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.